All right, hello everyone. It's Mystic Juicer back with some more Yomi action. We've got Southpaw Hare versus Shin Fluffy, the Fluffiness, in IYL action, and so this will be a first to three. Yeah, Fluffiness has a pretty good record when I'm commentating, so we will see. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. Yeah, definitely. So Southpaw Hare is playing a double header here. Just got finished playing against my druthers. I believe it was a 3-0 set. Check the results afterwards. It just popped in at the end. And we'll see what we go. So Southpaw Hare has been opening with BBB in his sets in IYL so far. And Fluffiness, I guess, has been mixing it up with with a variety of different characters. He's got the full cast to choose from. Obviously well known for his incredibly excellent Persephone play, but he is very strong player in a variety of characters. Definitely been around long enough to have a lot of skill, a lot of awareness of different character strategies, and has a couple of characters at tournament level, that's for sure. Okay, opting to go with Gloria. So this is definitely a matchup we don't see very often. I think Gloria is a pretty good pick against BBB, to be quite honest. Gloria has a lot of tools. So against a character like BBB, where you often want to be, preventing range from happening, and I think this matchup is no different. You don't want to be allowing BBB to get distance on you for free or very easily. And Gloria is very well equipped to do that. So having a lot of moves at 2.2 or specifically faster than 2.8 speed, which is a really key speed for BBB in terms of his normal attacks, both his Robo Headbutt, which doesn't set range but does deal 10 plus damage, and his 2 are both on have 0.8 speed normals, so they're at 2.8. So if you have a character like Gloria, she can really control space, really zone BBB out, and as a result, open the... Okay, no, he did power up for that, I think. Yeah, did power up for that. So yeah, so expect Fluffiness to be able to get away with a fair amount of throws as a result. Really kind of got to measure when he wants to elect to throw, because if BBB ever punches out a throw, and he's got that queen and that king, especially at range, in hand, then he can make Gloria's life quite difficult. The reason I say king is because it's the only throw that can be played at range. You can get fairly good mileage. You don't lose it when you play it. It deals 8 damage, which is not all that bad, and just looping an 8 damage throw a bunch of times and then mixing it up with queens for 13 chip damage, at 2.2 speed. That's that really key speed to keep thinking about. Is a pretty good strategy. So long as you're looping kings, so long as you're either hitting kings raw at range, or you're able to dodge into kings, you are preventing Gloria from healing, because she can't do that while she's knocked down. You're preventing healing spheres from being attached and staying on, because obviously it prevents her from healing and also knocks her down so she can't heal. And throws just naturally get rid of it, even if they do not knock down. So a couple of different options there. Okay, so we've got the overdrive mix-up. We're going to go for, Southpaw Hare is, I think, pretty aggro when it comes to the to that particular mix-up. A lot of people really like to hedge their bets against that particular play, because if BBB wants to be safe, kind of the safest things he can do is he can dodge, so that he can dodge into the king. It's one of the few ways that he can get range by dodging, is by using the king in that instance. Or he can play a whatever his jack is, which becomes uninterruptible. We just mentioned at the start of the fight the fact that he has that ability to, unless he is not, I don't even know if it's knocked down, but it could be, unless he's knocked down, then he can continue his attack. Whatever the attack was, deals its damage, but then he gets to essentially rock armor through it. Getting rid of a lot of queens, actually. And I'm a little bit surprised to see that while he's still at range. I would think that the queen would be very, very effective at forcing either queens from Gloria, because they are 1.0 speed. So they will tie against normals and get you out and beat queen raw. I'm a little surprised to see the queens disappear there. Hopefully he has another king in hand so that he can start looping here. Oh, okay, he's got the fourth queen, so he's able to hold on to one of those tools. Nicely played. Now, if he ever gets out of range, he is going to be able to kill. Fluffiness electing not to heal there has maybe an awkward hand. Has definitely got the ace of hearts back in hand. As Southpaw Hare, I am probably just playing to prevent range from going away as quickly as possible. Oh, that's a pretty rough. That is a pretty rough combat loss for Fluffiness here. Taken all the way down to 6 hit points, unless he heals to go back up to 10. No. And Southpaw Hare has a fair number of cards in hand, has only spent 2 dodges. And seems to be in pretty good position to take this game here. And there we go. Gets him with the clutch king throw. Closing out game 1 in a very rapid fashion. So it looks like Fluffiness, obviously, if you lose combat a couple of times, if you don't win enough combats, it's very difficult to win the game. It could be, it kind of looked like he did not get quite the cards that he needed, did not get enough face cards to be able to play the keep away pressure game in neutral. And so we will see him switch here to Grave. So again, the logic here is expect to see a jack come out from Fluffiness first turn. That is the first step of the Grave versus BBB flowchart. Yeah, Southpaw Hare has read that book. Counters with single ace to try to get out of his hand. I think any normal, frankly, is just fine to be playing in that first turn if you're expecting a jack. You can elect to try to build a hand at the same speed and at the same pace as Grave in the early game if you want to. But you will be taking that 3 chip damage perpetually, and then eventually he's going to power up, have a whole bunch of aces, be able to threaten, dodge into 45 or just raw 45. I think the only way that BBB really wins this match is if he blocks enough to bait some throws, gets really good reads on the throw timing, and is otherwise able to exploit any moments where Grave is not protecting himself with those dominant speed attacks. So all of Grave's face cards and all of his aces are going to be excellent spacing tools in this matchup. Okay, there we go. That was opportunity number 1 for Southpaw Hare to get to range. Fluffiness showing him a 7. That is quite interesting. So the 7 is not a great reveal here, because if he does play either side of this honestly, then Southpaw Hare can simply play a normal of any kind, a normal attack of any kind. That will put him to range, and he'll be able to get in or get the distance he needs from from Grave. So yeah, Fluffiness going with, I think, pretty standard counter poke there. Went with the 3, so he did not have a 2 to play. As the 3 is vulnerable to being undercut with a 2 poke or a 7 attack, had Southpaw Hare gone for it. Fluffiness will elect to go for a counter here. See if Southpaw Hare can navigate the next piece of damage. The tricky thing too is you can't really ignore Grave's ability to throw you. Ooh, nice bit of valuation trapping there. I suspect that Fluffiness probably drew the 2. On the next draw. Otherwise, playing the 2 earlier would have been fairly likely to be a much better play. Okay, so we get a peek at Southpaw Hare's hand. We've got some high normals. We've got a dodge, importantly, on the 5. 2 jacks, a queen, and a king. Not a ton of value here. Probably, as in his position, I would block here. Okay, he goes for the dodge instead. Could have tied that with a jack of his own. BBB's jacks are 2.4 speed, so they will trade fairly effectively against Graves. BBB does have less hit points than Grave by 10, but you know that's not a tremendous issue, I think. Well, I mean, it does mean that any lucky hit, any hit from Grave that isn't a queen or a singleton ace, is going to hurt, you know, more than any single hit from BBB will. But we will see what we shall see. So he has the king, so he has a dodge, or no, he had a dodge. Has he drawn another one? Okay, no, goes for the long arm, the uninterruptible attack. So he will take 12 damage here. And I think the only thing he can really follow this up with, though, is queen pump pump. And that would be pretty tremendous, yeah. So elects to not follow that up. Not a particularly favorable trade for him. It's fairly even in total damage, but he's already looking at a pretty high life deficit here. If I am Southpaw Hare, I probably am tempted to turtle up, given how consistently Fluffiness has thrown away 7s and other throw options. He's looking to win this game without ever playing one of those black cards that makes him vulnerable. Going to try to take as few risks. It seems like he's taking as few risks as possible against the robot. What BBB really has in this matchup is his double ace move being the next fastest move after queens. So if he can manage to block his way up to a high hand, all of a sudden his dodges up close actually become kind of threatening, because you can dodge into 21, which is not too bad. You only need a few of those to close out the game. But right now, Southpaw Hare is not really playing for the long game. I can kind of understand that. He feels like he has to dodge because he can't take a tremendous amount of chip damage. But he's spending all of the cards that could possibly win him this game. And Grave is sitting pretty with 7 cards in hand and a known ace. So he's got a lot of tools to be able to apply pressure. He can elect to go for a throw. If he has 2 kings in hand or a 6 and a jack, he will end this. And there we go. Southpaw Hare finally clinches things with a 2 attack. Hopefully he still has some gas in the tank. Elects to throw his queen in, deals much damage as possible, bringing Fluffiness within striking distance here, 34 hit points. Southpaw Hare has got to be careful, though. I think as Fluffiness, I'd probably just go for block. I know, although, you know, Southpaw Hare did punish him for going for the obvious queen in the last range. So maybe that'll weigh too heavily on him, and Fluffiness will elect to just play the ace if he's got it. Playing the ace is also very smart if he has a follow-up queen. So an unexpected move that can help him get out of range. Okay, goes for the block, and Southpaw Hare did not have a move that could punish that, or elected not to play anything. You really can't afford to be attacking with normal attacks into Grave's blocks at range. Ooh, catches him with the 7th throw. Fluffiness trying to close things out with the most conservative approach possible. Does not want to play the singleton ace in neutral in case it runs into a block. Would be the big punish here that he's trying to avoid. Okay. Southpaw Hare gets a little too aggressive. Fluffiness plays the ace. 12 damage, needs only 8 more, so a throw will not do it. A jack becomes incredibly oppressive in this instance. Southpaw Hare has to power up in order to have an ace to be able to deal with the jack, because he cannot block it, and BBB only has 2 ranks of dodges, so only 8 dodges total, which makes it very, very difficult for him to deal with a recurring move like the jack, which is at 2.4 speed, especially with 8 hit points. He can't trade with it. He's got to beat it outright, or he's got to dodge it. And with a 3 or 4 card hand, which is what he was at earlier, that is quite difficult to do. There we go. Throws into the jack, and Fluffiness takes game 2. So we will see what Southpaw Hare switches to. We'll see if he makes a switch at all. Has been known to stick in matchups that he feels, he's comfortable in. I think that's a good approach to take. If you have the confidence to stay in a matchup, then you stay in it. And I think this is definitely an instance where player confidence, and matchup confidence comes into play, because this is definitely not a matchup that is considered favorable to Vendetta. So the reason for that being, Grave deals a tremendous amount of damage off of any combat win. He can counter Ven's acrobatics, so the assassin cannot rely on acrobatics to get him out of, for instance, throwing or attacking into True Power of Storms or stuff like that. Grave has a 1.0 speed ace, which deals 12 damage, which just happens to be exactly the same amount of damage that a Vendetta King will do. So it will trade very nicely against the attack side of that if Grave is knocked down. And because Vendetta has lower hit points, again, 15 hit points fewer in this instance than Grave, those trades tend not to be good for him. Of course, Grave also has queens, so having the queen as an option becomes very, very deadly. Grave is just very, very oppressive in the neutral, where Vendetta typically wants to be. I think in this matchup, you really have to have nerves of steel as the Vendetta player. You have to absolutely capitalize on the one advantage you have, which is that you can deal just a tremendous amount of damage off of pretty much any combat win, so long as you have the right tools in hand. That is always the key. So Vendetta is definitely a character that suffers from having difficult hands to deal with, which is pretty funny considering he is the claw character. Yeah, there we go. Going for those big throw punishes, mixing it up with his standard 2s. So we don't know if he has been utterly defanged, if there's still a 2 waiting around somewhere. I'm nobody showing up. Catch some Vendetta, possibly summoned by the Vendetta play. But right now it looks like Fluffiness has a very commanding grasp of this particular matchup. Hasn't done all that much and has really bled Southpaw Hare down to a third of his hit points. Okay, so he revealed a 2. Oh, ace of spades. Okay, so he can just threaten playing the ace in neutral. Went for the block, just trying to block his way into a bigger hand. But he is allowing Southpaw Hare to build a hand of his own. Southpaw Hare went for the throw punish, expecting Fluffiness just to play the ace in neutral. So, okay, so Fluffiness is now posturing. Okay, so he has confirmed that he in fact does have True Power of Storms active. See how Southpaw Hare chooses to deal with this. Is he going to expect the cheeky throw now? Who's going to blink first? Southpaw Hare has gone for throw duffs 2 turns in a row. With True Power of Storms suspected, but now it is known. Okay. Shin Fluffiness going for the safe option of just going into dodge. Daring his opponent to throw him. And I would expect Fluffiness, I don't know, depending on how patient he's feeling, how comfortable he's feeling, he can probably get away with blocking a few more times. Blocking and dodging a bit more. And eventually threatening True Power of Storms, mixing up some throws. You probably can't get away with True Power of Storms raw. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. I mean, again, this is by no means a lost game at all. Spending 3 aces that he got fairly rapidly doesn't make all that big a difference. He only suffers 36 hit points of damage for that. He is at 50 hit points though, so a couple of strong throw combos could be difficult. He's definitely in a less good place than he was just a second ago. But Southpaw Hare did what he needed to do. He threatened that he was going to continue throw duffing, and Fluffiness said, "Hey, okay, if you're going to keep my throws out, then what I'll do is I'll just reach over here and deal you a casual 45, and hope that you think you can get acrobatics to save you." Okay, so Raw King in the neutral, trying to scout out a throw attempt. Fluffiness, Fluffiness giving us his best murder face impression from that ill-fated Death Clock movie that they attempted to make. I think it was Ocean of Blood. Oh, Blood Ocean? Yeah, Blood Ocean. Ooh! Southpaw Hare puts him to the ground, the claw trip. Gets them footsies. And takes the life lead for the first time in the match. Gets the knockdown. Has already played the single king. Fluffiness still has a known single ace in hand. See if Fluffiness goes for something greedy here, or if he elects to try to play it safe and dodge. Okay, goes for something greedy. Expected Fluffiness to play it more defensive. Ace for that with 12 hit points of damage. Very even life totals. Southpaw Hare with a slight hand size lead here. Not that it makes a tremendous amount of difference at these life totals. 42 damage is not an amount that Vendetta can deal off of a combat win. 36 off of his aces, but those are out of the picture because he has spent 3 of them and has not yet since powered up. Okay, there we go. Plays a dominant throw. Gets it. And will Fluffiness face down here? Okay, goes for it. Does not want to accidentally take a bajillion damage. Okay, and Southpaw Hare hedges his bet slightly, dealing exactly 19. Okay, what's the reason for holding back there? Were there some key moves? Is that an indication that he maybe has a 2 back in hand? 23, he can kill off of a 2 attack into, ooh, okay, plays the 7 again. Tries to get out of this with acrobatics. It is a face card, so this will pull if Fluffiness wants to get rid of it. Okay, no, elects not to counter. Fluffiness content. I'm wondering if this is a jack. Jack is an incredibly safe play here, although he's already played 3 of them. Okay, Southpaw Hare goes for the Joker. Interesting. Did not want to go for any kind of block or dodge play. I suppose that's fair. He had played acrobatics. He was in a vulnerable state, feeling maybe, he might have had a read on the fact that Fluffiness was feeling aggressive and wanted to make something happen. Okay, 2 aces in the discard, so 2 aces in the discard, so we know True Power of Storms is not on the table. Fluffiness perhaps showing a bit of a tell here, powering up for aces and then immediately blocking. I feel like he's gone for that a couple of times now. Wow. Southpaw Hare, 3 aces in hand. He's got another 8. 8 is the acrobatics. Yes. He's got the 4 throw. Yeah, he definitely has enough damage to kill here off of a throw, off of an attack. And wow, Fluffiness just allowing, posturing like he's going to allow him to throw him. Perhaps trying to bait something here. Not too many dodges in that hand. I think only the 4 has one. Yeah, only the 4's got the dodge. Ooh, okay, plays the 10. I feel like that 10 might have been better saved, and the 4 played as a dodge in that instance, because it gives away, it implies that you only have the 1, right? The 10 is hidden information. Right now, Fluffiness has the exact same information that he did the last turn. If he had played the 4 dodge side instead, now Fluffiness might feel like, oh, okay, I can safely go in with attacks, because even if I lose combat to a dodge, or to a blow, even if I lose combat, say by playing an ace in neutral, if he's willing to risk getting triple aced, he might feel like, oh, okay, well, so long as this doesn't kill me instantaneously, he probably can't dodge it, so I'm probably safe that way. Fluffiness, I'm pretty sure Fluffiness has at least 1 Joker here. See what he elects to do. We know Southpaw Hare didn't have one. He's already played 1 of them, and he's got 1/3 of his remaining, 1/3 of his remaining deck in hand. So it's not, and we knew a lot of those cards, so it was not completely unrealistic to think that he doesn't have another Joker. Goes for the kill shot there, and Fluffiness reveals that he's got a queen. So here's the setup for that Fluffiness is going for. Okay, sorry, no, he gets the queen for playing the card he said he was going to play. Interesting. Okay, reveals the ace as his knowing the opponent card. So again, he's threatening the fact that you have, as Vendetta, you have nothing that can beat my aces, therefore you have to dodge. And when you dodge, I will throw you. That is exactly what happened. Southpaw Hare finally blinks and says, okay, you have played triple ace in neutral pretty quickly in this match, so I'm going to give you the respect that deserves. Now he's got another mix-up to look forward to. Will Fluffiness let fly with the triple ace super, or is he going to continue to oppress with throws? And how will Southpaw Hare respond? Seen him go for the throw duffs a fair amount of time. Ooh, and that's it. That's GG. He's got acrobatics played, so he cannot respond at all. I'm really surprised he went for twice. I mean, yeah, I just don't know. I feel like if you had the Joker there, just blocking, taking the throw if you get thrown, and either bursting it or trying to go for a knockdown play where he might choose to go for some sort of cross-up attempt into True Power of Storms, and then you burst that, like you're completely safe to True Power of Storms on that turn because you've got Joker backup. It was just kind of I feel like that was a bit of an odd decision. It definitely wasn't the safest option he could play, and I don't know. I disagree slightly with that particular choice. Particularly because I feel like he probably still had enough damage in hand to kill if he needed to, but that may in fact not be the case. I kind of stopped tracking his hand. Let's see what else he had. Let's see, he hadn't played the Jack yet, I believe. Yeah, hadn't played the Jack, so he had the Jack. Could use that to bait jokers, because I'm pretty sure that Fluffiness still had the Joker in hand. He did play the aces. A bunch of different options there. Okay. Yeah. All right, so Southpaw Hare goes to Gloria. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about this matchup. I feel like it's not that great for Gloria, to be quite honest. Although when I was at FSX, I played this against Sir Handsome, who pretty much only plays Gloria. One of the very few pure character loyalists remaining, and he was surprised that I took a match off of him. I think I went 1-1 against him with Grave, and then switched to Midori, and then ended up losing that. But I don't know. I don't feel like this is particularly bad for Grave. You've got, dodge into True Power of Storms is very good. Raw True Power of Storms is still pretty good. Until, Gloria gets her triple ace super online. Wait, it's 0.6 to 0.4. Yeah, no. So you've got the dominant super as well. You have good damage off of throws against the character who usually has to put themselves in a potentially lethal situation in order to get you to a potentially lethal situation, unless things are going very, very badly. Yeah, I don't really see it. I mean, there's a world where Gloria plays in such a way that she is able to recur her 7 almost continuously, and Grave uses up his 7s early, and then you just have the dominant throw forever. I guess that's a thing, but I don't think you live in that world where you don't just take random damage off of Grave in the early game. That that makes that not a viable, consistent strategy for you. Okay, Southpaw Hare getting some healing on, trading out some cards for some of those hit points back, trying to recover from that second turn queen, I believe. Yeah, second turn queen. See what the next turn brings. Goes for the 7th throw, and Southpaw Hare once again playing gold bursts against Fluffiness rather than playing for a for blue burst play, which is, I think it's interesting. That's definitely a more aggressive way to play. The fact that he got 2 non hearts aces meant that he definitely had the hearts ace in hand. Going to be able to heal here and pick that right back up. But even if he wins, so if I'm Fluffiness, I am just going for throws on this next turn. I have no real reason to respect Sun and Moon, because if Southpaw Hare plays Sun and Moon here and he doesn't have a Jack in hand, and even if he does have a Jack, if Graves got counters, this potentially puts Southpaw Hare on a very, very low card hand, and that can be very difficult to escape from. If he wins that combat and then gets thrown on the next turn and isn't able to reestablish a hand size, then Grave can really be oppressive for a while. Southpaw, so Gloria does have, that nice, and nicely played by Fluffiness. Definitely, I mean, he did what I wanted to do and it worked, so clearly I've got to heap praises on the man. And yeah, smartly electing to go for the 7th throw there, just in case Southpaw Hare went for throw of his own to try to deal with any kind of block style play from Fluffiness. Okay, so nice bit of a life lead here for Fluffiness. Okay, did not elect to throw again. Expecting a wake up king or something like that from Southpaw Hare. But Southpaw Hare's got, troubles of his own. 3 of those 7 cards in hand are aces. 1 of them he cannot use to heal with. And now Fluffiness is going to put on the pressure, say, okay, yeah, you've got a 3-ace super, but so do I. We'll see which of us is better at using it. So this will be card neutral, but slowly Southpaw Hare's hand is going to be filling up with hearts cards. And eventually he's going to have to make tough decisions about whether he wants to hang on to those aces or hang on to his sphere. And Fluffiness is not in a position where he still needs to respect Sun and Moon. Yeah, this is a more worrisome thing. Southpaw Hare electing to go for really the only way out of the hand that he's got, which is by playing the jacks. So Fluffiness posturing like he's got a joker. Southpaw Hare thinking hard, and again, he's got kind of a difficult hand to deal with. Okay, elects to go all in. All of that damage is jokered. He will be able to get basically 3 or 4 cards here for free. He gets 2 cards off of the aces for the draw. He's going to be able to probably heal off of the Moonlight Sphere to be able to... Okay, no, he's not able to do so. Now he's got to elect to either spend some potentially very important cards or very useful cards. Yeah, the king and queen, wow. Very, very nice poking tools, even in this matchup. Just to be able to maintain sphere, and continues piling healing sphere on. So he's got to be very careful not to be knocked down on this next turn. So he's got to be careful about dodge into throw or raw throw. Fluffiness has spent 3 7s and an 8, so that scenario I outlined earlier, and there we go. Southpaw Hare goes for the greedy option, electing to go for the 7th throw, saying, hey, you've spent a lot of 7s, you spent an 8, you probably don't have anything to beat this. You may think that I am going to go for a block play or a defensive attack play, in which case dodging is very, very safe. There we go. Fluffiness puts True Power of Storms online. Southpaw Hare electing to try to heal out of it. He will get a bunch of free cards out of this healing sphere, which is nice for him. So he's going to go back up to 6. Yeah. So he's got an okay hand. He can kind of stabilize here. He's got to be careful for 1 turn about True Power of Storms. Fluffiness might not even have a throw, considering how many of them he has played and how few cards he has in hand that aren't True Power of Storms. Okay, Southpaw Hare went for the bold 2 attack. And again, Fluffiness, god damn that name, Fluffiness holding true to that pattern of powering up for aces and then blocking, or playing a blodge. Okay, Southpaw Hare trying to go for a bold checkmate play here. Depending on... Oh, he's already played 1 joker early on in the game, so this makes this much less strong than it would otherwise be, because he has fewer opportunities to be able to, like, right now there is no real reason for Fluffiness off of a combat win to really respect a joker. So Southpaw Hare can't really effectively bluff, which means that he basically has to, if he has the other joker, he pretty much has to spend it the first time he loses to something that could lead into big damage. Ooh, and Fluffiness once again going for True Power of Storms raw in neutral. Southpaw Hare dodging is probably going to knock down He could elect not to follow this up at all, but I'm pretty sure he will want to. Yeah. Okay, gives Grave 2 more cards, but wanted to go for a potential 19 damage and checkmate setup there. Let's see how many queens have been played. Wow, that is not what I expected to see. That is pretty bold and pretty spicy. Fluffiness electing to go for immediate reload on the True Power of Storms. Southpaw Hare now has to really consider whether he's going to respect this potential wake up super. Is he going to get caught? Or is he going to get thrown? That's the question. Ooh, went for the Joker. Okay, that was a completely safe turn. And this next one, though, I don't know if I would have spent it there. Again, the difficulty now is he doesn't have any Jokers, right? So the safest thing he can now do, because True Power of Storms is online, is Blodge. But if he blodges and Fluffiness has both a throw, he has a throw and even into an ace, 19 damage will bring Southpaw Hare down to 6 hit points, which is not enough to be able to safely overdose. It's gonna be tricky. So he still has to be right on here. He can't. As opposed to had he dodged and tied on the last turn, he would have had a checkmate setup with the Joker in hand. He could have dodged. If he was thrown, he Jokers, and that is the only... There we go. Finds him with the Queen, and that is going to be GG. Southpaw Hare survives the mix-up. And that is 2 games apiece. Fluffiness gets an opportunity to counterpick in the ace match. This is a first to 3. So what are we going to see? Okay, elects to go for Zane. Zane, a very strong character against Gloria. Tricky thing for Zane, or for Gloria in this matchup, is that she is constantly working against a timer of Maximum Anarchy. That is the real threat in this matchup. That is the thing that she wants to avoid at all costs. But in the meantime, if she plays too many attacks, and Zane plays, so the way that Zane gets there is he blocks all of Gloria's attacks, right? Gloria wants to be playing safe stuff. Her safe stuff is 2.2 speed or 1.0 speed in neutral. Zane really can't contend with those speeds, therefore he's going to be spending a lot of time blocking. And he wins that by getting Max Anarchy and playing Max Anarchy and killing her. The other way he wins, if Gloria elects not to play that defensive game of playing lots of, space controlling attacks in the early game, is he throws for a billion damage and knockdown, and she can't heal, and she doesn't have a lot of tools that sit at 1.0 speed to be able to contest his meaty attacks effectively. So we can see turn 1, we had a quick test to see from Southpaw Hare, testing to see if Fluffiness was going to throw on the first turn. And as soon as he saw, he's like, oh, he's starting to block. Okay, well, I'll use this opportunity to go defensive myself, and got hit with the 5 throw on turn 2 instead. And that is 20 damage out the gate. He's going to get Healing Sphere for a single turn. Does not have any hearts in the discard, but elects to trade out a 4 and a 7, looking for those important face cards in the neutral. Not a bad idea. Since he did have the Healing Sphere up, that is card neutral, even though he did not have a heart in the discard. And Fluffiness going in, saying, oh, well, if you're that desperate for cards, you probably don't have anything of real importance. And even if you do keep me out for 1 turn, it's not going to work out for you. So elects to put the pedal to the metal. And doesn't combo into much, but still 12 damage throws at a time. Southpaw Hare with not enough in the discard for him to really be reaching for, or not enough cards in hand to be able to go down on cards looking for it. And there we go. The first 2.2 speed attack of the game, and Fluffiness reads it. At this point, he's got a lot of time that he can spend kind of prancing about, really. he can play a very low risk game from here on out. Hasn't yet taken any points of damage. Southpaw Hare is very likely going to have a gold burst here to be able to really get out of this. Oh, nope, blocks wrong. Takes 9 damage. Free cards for Zane off the normal draw and off of Shenanigans. Doesn't reveal all that much again, but it doesn't really matter because that is a massive damage combo, even if he hasn't found any jacks so far. Leaving Southpaw Hare at 7 and Zane at the full 85 still. So it is going to be a very uphill battle. Very, very uphill battle. I honestly don't think that this is... I mean, so here's the thing. You know, this is Yomi. You know, you can win. If you just win combat, you can come back from any kind of life deficit. But again, this is Yomi. You have a limited ability to actually will yourself to win combats. And this may, in fact, be checkmate. Yeah, Fluffiness proving that Zane needs even the most garbage of Shenanigans will work out just fine if you've got the right cards in hand. Okay, does not yet close things out. Southpaw Hare still has the ability to heal here. This seems to be going poorly. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Fluffiness upset because he is not winning as hard as he should be. Okay, Southpaw Hare healing. Again, does not have... did he already get the king back earlier? Yeah, okay. So he has a King of Hearts in hand. So he does have that 2.2 speed attack that be quite good for him. He's got to worry about Fluffiness having kings or dodges or throws or dodges into throws. He's just got to be right. He's got to be right until he wins, and that's not going to do it. Cleaning it out with a very tight set, 3-2 for Fluffiness over Southpaw Hare. Nicely played. So thanks everybody for watching. Hope you enjoyed that, and until next time, enjoy yourselves some Yomi. Cheers.